How's it hanging, dudes? My name is Sean, and welcome back to another Cyberpunk 2077 video. Alright, so we're back on track with our main uploads. I do have another channel that's kind of taken off, so it's taking a lot of my time, and I apologize about that because this is our first channel ever, right? You know what I mean? And we're knee-deep into Cyberpunk, and we're back on regular schedule. So, I'm hoping to do maybe 2 or 3 videos a week on this channel, up until E3, right? And then we'll see what happens in, the traction takes off or not. Either way, Cyberpunk is the way to go. And I have a little bit of a theory today, okay? A little bit of a theory. And I don't know if this is, it's all speculation, you know what I mean? It's just pure conjecture on my part. Obviously, as, a theory is a theory, so. But there are going to be some factual things in here that I'm going to use to draw a conclusion. But it doesn't mean nothing, you know what I mean? It's just me speculating and just shooting the shit with you guys, right? So, here's my theory. Stop, phone. So, Mr. Sean of Brutal Games, what is this theory you're speaking of? So this theory is basically the plot of Cyberpunk 2077. What do I think the plot will be? And it's just, I'm just throwing this out there, but I think there's something to it, there's a few little points that will kind of build up to maybe selling a little bit of a point, and you guys are welcome to disagree, and I don't even know if it's, if there's any credibility to it at all. Again, it's just all speculation, but it's cool to theorize, right? It's fun to kind of toss these ideas around. So, Johnny Silverhand, if I'm not mistaken, has a girlfriend called Alt Cunningham, right? I might be mistaken. I don't want to get that wrong, because God forbid you make a mistake. You might just be a street rat and have slanderous videos made about you. But and strikes. But anyway, Alt Cunningham is a netrunner. She invented the beta version of Soulkiller, a program that would make a digital emulation or copy of a netrunner's mind. Saburo Arasaka kidnapped her, extracted the information from her, and made a more deadly version that would simultaneously fry the netrunner's mind after backing it up. Also, the SysOp, or system operator, I think is what it's called, again, could be a mistake, God forbid. I'm just kind of talking off the cuff here, and you don't ever do that, right? Anyway, SysOp will interrogate any person at will. They then used it on Alt Cunningham, since she was of no further use to them, but her digital ghost broke free into the net. So she obviously had some sort of backup plan if something like that would happen. So, we got a digital ghost breaking free to the net, right? We got Alt Cunningham running around wild on the net. Of course, the nets are localized to certain cities and stuff like that now because of the corporate wars and stuff like that. So here's my first point. We know that Johnny Silverhand is dead, right? They say that he took his last ride. And any stretch of the phrase, the last ride, means death. You take your last ride, you're in a hearse. You take the last ride, you're probably up on an Undertaker's shoulders getting ready to be plowed into the mat. If you're taking your last ride, you're a biker. You know what I mean? It's just, if you're Arthur Morgan took his last ride in Red Dead Redemption, right? It's a last ride. That's what that means. That means they're dead. Now, that could just be like a subversion tactic and then Johnny Silverhand is still actually alive miraculously after all these years. But okay, so that's that. And we know Alt Cunningham is in the net, and Carrie Aradine is presumably off touring with Samurai, right? And a few months after the story of Cyberpunk, he's supposed to be in a different state doing something like. Anyway, so we have these 3 characters, right? And we know that Arasaka is going to be the big baddie of the franchise, just kind of like Militech is, but Arasaka is, they're the apex. So what if you, as an up-and-coming solo, happen upon, the story of the 4th Corporate War? And the reason why I say that is, a while back I had tweeted to some people in CDPR, and they just told me that that they can't really share any information on the 4th Corporate War, so that definitely has to do with the plot. It definitely is kind of a plot spoiler. But it was kind of obvious anyway. I mean, the game's the Cyberpunk 2020 was built after the Fourth Corporate War, or during the Fourth Corporate War and afterwards. So the gap between that will be Cyberpunk Red, and then we have Cyberpunk 2077. So naturally, leading up to that, your character could possibly have something to do, uncover something like that, and then get into a more of the deeper lore story of Cyberpunk and what really happened. Maybe that's your goal as the protagonist, is to be the new up-and-coming Solo. Maybe you meet up with Morgan Blackhand, he fills you in with a lot of this stuff, or maybe being as T-Bugs and Netrunner, Alt Cunningham might be an idol to some of these people. So there's ways to where the actual story will obviously bleed into Cyberpunk 2077. I think that goes without saying. So my theory is you'll be breaking into Arasaka, into the net, something like that, to find Alt Cunningham, figure out what the key to I guess really screwing them over, you know what I mean, like doing some real damage and getting some strength back into the people's hands, right? I think that might be the route to go. Of course, there might be decisions in that, and you can kind of decide for yourself how that all will play out, unless there's like a very end scene and every single thing will be exactly the same no matter what you choose. That'd be kind of a little disappointing. I like to see different endings, but that's my idea, that's my theory. I think that you as the protagonist will be going up against Arasaka. I think that's kind of obvious, but why? Why? Because you need to get to Alt Cunningham, find the ghost of Alt Cunningham, talk to Kara Aradine, talk to Morgan Blackhand, find these characters of old, and get the story, right? Maybe Johnny Silverhand isn't dead. Maybe he's just kept somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the reason for that would be. It's just all conjecture and speculation on my part. So this has been my wild and wacky theory. I hope you stayed with me. I'm speaking off the cuff. This is not scripted at all, as you can tell. I'm just rambling, guys. So sorry about that. It is what it is. Sorry. And if you have ever found your way out of the Twilight Zone miraculously, because not everybody can do that. It's kind of hard out here. Make sure you like and subscribe, and until next time, piss off.
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made her leave with me. Conversation and Hennessy. I've been to the motherfucking mountaintop.